Hi, I'm Ocean. Today, we're diving into a book that has become a game changer for millions of readers across the globe, Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you've ever struggled with consistency, felt like big goals were out of reach, or been frustrated by the slow progress of change, this book is your answer. Atomic Habits reveals a simple but profound concept. Small, incremental habits compound over time to create massive transformations. The central idea Clear presents is that you don't need a drastic overhaul of your life to achieve extraordinary results. Instead, you need to focus on tiny, consistent habits that, over time, add up to something huge. The term atomic in Atomic Habits is incredibly deliberate. Just as atoms are the fundamental building blocks of matter, atomic habits are the foundational units of change. These habits might seem insignificant on their own, but when combined with others, they build momentum and create powerful systems that lead to success. The core philosophy: systems over goals. Before we dive into the mechanics of habits, let's first examine Clear's perspective on goals versus systems. In his book, he stresses a major shift in thinking. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Goals are about the results you want to achieve, e.g., lose weight, write a book, get fit. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results, e.g., healthy eating habits, writing a set number of words every day, exercising regularly. Clear points out that focusing only on goals can often be counterproductive. For one, goals are finite, and once you achieve them, it's easy to lose momentum. But systems, on the other hand, are continuous. The key to long term success is not obsessing over the end result, but building daily habits that align with your desired outcomes. When you focus on systems rather than just goals, you set yourself up for sustained success. Goals give you direction, but systems provide the path to get there. The four laws of behavior change. The four laws of behavior change form the backbone of Clear's method for habit formation. These laws are the framework for understanding how habits work and how to shape them. They are: the first law, make it obvious. The second law, make it attractive. The third law, make it easy. The fourth law, make it satisfying. Let's break each of these down in detail. The first law, make it obvious. The first law is all about cue, the trigger that initiates the habit. For a habit to stick, it must be obvious in your environment. If you want to start a new habit, make the trigger so clear and visible that it's impossible to ignore. This is about environment design, or arranging your environment so it cues the behavior you want to adopt. Here are some key takeaways from this law. Habits are easier to form when the cues are clear. The simpler and more visible the reminder, the more likely you are to engage in the behavior. If you want to drink more water, leave a glass of water on your desk where you can see it throughout the day. Implementation intentions. A powerful strategy is to create an implementation intention. Instead of saying, I will exercise more, commit to a specific time and place. For example, I will go for a run at 6 a.m. starting tomorrow morning. Habit stacking. One of Clear's favorite techniques for making habits obvious is habit stacking. This involves attaching a new habit to an existing habit. For example, after you brush your teeth, existing habit, you will meditate for 2 minutes, new habit. This strategy works because the existing habit provides the cue for the new one. The second law, make it attractive. Once you've made the cue obvious, you need to ensure that the behavior is attractive enough to engage in. The more appealing a habit is, the more likely you are to follow through with it. Clear explains that motivation is key, but motivation can be tricky to rely on. What really drives habits is a psychological process called dopamine-driven feedback loops. Here's how the second law works. The role of dopamine. Dopamine is the brain's reward chemical. Every time you engage in a behavior that feels good, dopamine is released. It's the brain's way of telling you, hey, that was a good thing, do it again. The more enjoyable a habit is, the more dopamine it will release. making it more attractive to repeat. Therefore, designing habits that are enjoyable in the moment will help you stick with them. Temptation bundling. One technique. Clear introduces here is temptation bundling, which is the idea of pairing a habit you need to do with something you want to do. For example, if you love watching Netflix but you want to exercise, you can bundle watching your favorite show with a workout. The catch is that you can only watch the show while exercising. Change your mindset. Clear suggests that you reframe the way you think about the habit you're trying to form. If you think of exercise as a chore, it will feel unattractive. But if you shift your thinking to see it as something you do for health, energy, or vitality, it becomes far more appealing. The third law, make it easy. The third law is all about reducing friction. For a habit to stick, it has to be easy to perform. The easier a habit is, the more likely you are to do it consistently. Clear emphasizes that the key to habit formation is simplicity. Start small and make sure there's little resistance to getting started. Key principles in this law include the 2-minute rule. Clear advocates for the 2-minute rule as a way to get started with any new habit. The idea is that any habit can be made to fit into the first 2 minutes. For example, if you want to start reading more, your 2-minute habit could be reading 1 page. This drastically lowers the barrier to entry and makes it easier to begin. Optimize your environment for ease. Make it easier to do the habit by removing friction. If you want to eat healthier, prepare your meals in advance so they're ready when you need them. If you want to start a workout routine, lay out your clothes the night before. The less you have to think about it, the more likely you are to do it. Automate your habits. In the modern world, we have tools that can automate many of our behaviors. Clear suggests automating as many habits as possible. For example, setting up automatic transfers to a savings account or using a meal delivery service can take the decision-making process out of the equation and make the habit much easier to maintain. The fourth law, make it satisfying. Finally, Clear's fourth law is about reinforcement. You must make the habit satisfying. A behavior is more likely to stick if there's an immediate reward associated with it. This is where positive reinforcement plays a huge role. If a habit feels rewarding, it triggers the brain's dopamine system, making you want to repeat it. Here's how the fourth law works. Immediate rewards. When starting a new habit, it's important to find ways to reward yourself immediately. For example, after finishing a workout, take a moment to congratulate yourself or track your progress. Small rewards can help reinforce the habit and make it more likely that you'll stick with it. Habit tracking. One of the most powerful ways to make a habit satisfying is through tracking your progress. Keeping a visual record, like a habit tracker or a journal, gives you immediate feedback and encourages you to keep going. The visual cue of seeing your progress is satisfying in itself, and the act of tracking creates a sense of achievement. Avoiding negative feedback. If a habit is painful or difficult in the moment, it's much less likely to stick. This is why Clear emphasizes that good habits should be as satisfying as possible, and bad habits should be avoided or made less rewarding. The power of habit stacking and identity change. Throughout the book, Clear also explores two key concepts that have a powerful impact on habit formation: habit stacking and identity change. Habit stacking. As we mentioned earlier, habit stacking is about anchoring a new habit to an existing one. By stacking a new behavior onto a habit that's already deeply ingrained, you create a smooth transition between the two, making it easier to follow through. Example: after I brush my teeth, existing habit, I will do 5 push ups, new habit. Identity change. One of the most profound ideas in the book is the concept of identity based habits. Instead of focusing on the outcome of your goals, Clear suggests that you should focus on who you want to become. If you want to be a runner, don't just set a goal to run 5 miles. Start identifying as a runner. When your habits align with your identity, they become easier to maintain. The key is to shift your self-image to match your desired behavior. Conclusion: mastering the compound effect of atomic habits. Atomic Habits offers a roadmap to achieving massive personal growth by embracing the power of small changes. The book's central thesis is that success isn't about making one big leap. It's about making tiny, smart choices consistently over time. By focusing on systems and following the four laws of behavior change, you can shape your habits and ultimately your life. Clear emphasizes that the compound effect of small, consistent improvements can have exponential results. The ultimate goal isn't perfection, but continuous improvement. If you focus on making just 1% improvement every day, you'll be 37 times better after a year. And that's the kind of transformation we're all after. So if you're looking to change your life, start by changing your habits. Build those atomic habits, stack them, and watch as they compound into something extraordinary. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. We hope Atomic Habits has inspired you to take small steps toward big changes. Remember, you are the sum of your habits, and it's never too late to start building better ones.